Well, good morning. This is Hero. We're going to be pruning this. We're going to, actually, we want this olive to look like this. So why am I pruning it today? Well, because I want it to look like this, I need to thin it out so as we get into the growth cycle, that it will not get overly compacted or overly thick and the interior start to get unhealthy. So today I'm going to try to maintain what we have in terms of the shape, but I wanted to thin it out. Okay, what you see behind the olive today is my computer. I'm uploading the YouTube, and I was saying that it takes me about 30 minutes to do a 15-minute upload. That's on a good day. Today's a good day. It's less than 30 minutes. So this is like the backside. It's a double trunk. It's a little bit too big to be a bonsai. Oh. Okay, let me show you what I was talking about. Normally what we do is like this, keep it in shape, right? But what I wanted to do was to go in and open it up so that it will maintain this outside but keep the interior healthy. And I think in one of the other chapters I discussed the difference in pruning style. I guess this is kind of like that. Every so often you got to go in and do these deep cuts to keep it healthy. See, now you could start to see that it's starting to open up. And then this coming year, when it shoots up, you just keep trimming like we've been doing, right? So can you see the logic in what I was doing? Okay, so like this, go down deep. See, there's a little one here, so I'll take this big one out and we'll let this little guy come in. Nothing to it, repetition. And you know the big Niwaki olive I have, right? Well, we do the same concept, but that thing is large, so it takes a while. And people wonder why some of these are so expensive, but look at all the time I put into this. This tree is probably more than 30. I wouldn't be surprised if it was more like 40. I think this is part of the cleanup job that I had when I was still landscaping. And I don't know how old it was, but that was over 30 years ago that I did the job, maybe 35 years ago. I don't know, time's flying. Yeah, everything on the internet is slow around here. But luckily, I can do my work and then keep an eye on the computer at the same time. Yeah, it's a little slow process. So And most of the time I could take my hedge shear or my grass clipper and then just keep trimming the top. So the rest of the year I'll be doing it like that. So when I get done today, it'll look a little sparse, but that's what we have to do occasionally to keep it healthy. Now this, I guess, is closer to a Niwaki than a bonsai. Evidently there's two schools. One, the Niwaki people, and one, the bonsai people. And then a Niwaki person or the garden person would never put the wire on. And so, I don't know, there's a thing going on. If they see a wire on a Niwaki tree, they go, "Ah, you're a bonsai man." Well, in my case, I'm both, right? So I use whatever technique works best without having to shame myself. I think a lot of this stuff is so silly, if you ask me. So you ask, why is all the garden shrubs and trees hedged? Well, it's economics. One, it's the faster way to do it. Two, it's a lack of training. To do what I'm doing, you really have to understand how all the plants grow. And the other thing too is, what is the context in the garden? So, you know, you have a specific plant. What is the function of that? And so you really have to be knowledgeable of the garden itself. Well, I've been a designer, installer, and a maintainer. So, yeah, I don't know, it was intentional. Well, I went to school and got my degree as a landscape architect, right? To realize that I really don't like being cooped up in an office. So I never became a landscape architect. But I would design and do the installation. That was the other problem, especially like Japanese garden. I could design, even now I could design, but it requires a special knowledge to get it installed. And there's not a whole lot of people that can do that. And I trained myself to get it done, but now that is physically demanding. That's why I quit. To do the Japanese garden right, you gotta have a well-trained crew. I had two guys that I've had for a number of years. It takes about 3 years to get somebody accustomed to your way of doing things, right? So, yeah, in my peak, I had two guys that knew exactly what I wanted done when I said, do this and do that. But I don't miss those days. I'll let you look right now, but I'm gonna just shut this off and get it done, because I think you're already seeing what I'm doing, right? And oh, my upload is still working fairly decent. Only 6 more minutes to go. Yep. See what I'm doing? I'm going deep, but it's barely visible. Sometimes you end up with a little bald spot, but you'll come right back because we're doing this today, actually the first day of February. And we're just getting into the growth season. So a few mistakes are not going to matter. That's one thing about bonsai. Bad haircut only lasts for a few months or a few weeks, except the pine. Behind, if you screw up on the pines, it may never recover, or it'll take years instead of months. Well, at least on the black pine. That's why the black pine is considered the ultimate test of your ability. And why am I talking about that when I'm putting the olive? Olives are simple. Actually, they don't have too much talking. There's a little bald spot here. They don't have olives in Japan. In fact, I was watching one program where he says, well, I went to Italy and got this. And I was looking at it and I said, wow, he's supposed to be a bonsai master. And I said, that's not a very good tree. Well, you got to work with what you get, right? And I guess he was not able to get a great material. So other than being unusual in Japan. But around here, this thing just grew wild among the oak trees. And when I had that landscape job, I dug this out and I still have some. Okay, I think enough talking, because when I did that, I ended up with that bald spot. I was doing really good here, right? So anyway, I'll go ahead and finish up and then I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, I think I'm done for today. When I'm editing, I'll probably find out, oh, what was I thinking? I should have done this and that. But that's what happens. Okay, I'll go ahead and turn this around for you. Well, remember we were talking on the Niwaki, we don't want a real strong front because most of the time it's going to be viewed from all angles. I guess I could convert this into a bonsai or mini bonsai. I could probably get 4 out of this, but I think I'll keep this the way it is for now. Yeah, the top part looks a little young yet, but it'll come along this year. I'm going to take this back outside, feed it nice and heavy, and let it grow. So anyway, this is Hiro saying goodbye. This has been more or less a small Niwaki or a patio bonsai of the wild olive that I dug out from a landscape job 30 some odd years ago. And just to let you know how much I pruned out, see, there's a lot of that came out. And I'm not going to make any more new ones out of this because I got too many started already. But anyway, see you again real soon in another chapter. And I'm still waiting for my upload to YouTube.